So this video is actually for Joe and Brad over at Fight Perfect. It's kind of a response to their UFC versus WWE pro wrestling moves things. So I've been practicing catch wrestling under John Potenza for and my buddy Nick here is a jiu-jitsu guy. So he actually knows how to grapple and he knows when the moves are actually legit. So that being the case, I love what you guys did with the the updates, the functional variations, because we all know that wrestling is fake, except that pro wrestling comes from catch wrestling. And so we have things that are actually a little bit closer to the show moves that you guys kind of missed or skipped over, and I just want to share those with you. I'm not calling you out on anything, but we do have some cool stuff that we can show. All right, so the first one we got is, you guys covered the angle lock and what you might do differently. So in catch wrestling, we actually do have a toe hold like that. So yes, we know takedowns and all that, but we're just going to take it from referee position just because it's going to be simpler for setup, easier for filming and all that, right? So if I take my standard referee position where I'm controlling his hip, controlling his arm, this is just a great place to set up a nice breakdown, right? So I can reach out, step over, take into half Nelson, and I'm going to come down and I'm going to grab his leg and pull it up and jack him up here. Now once I'm up here, I'm going to step over and drive his leg down and sit on his quad. Once I'm in here, it's a step over toe hold, but in our lineage of catch wrestling, we might refer to this as a steering wheel toe hold, where I just take on the foot, on the heel, and I rotate towards the It's a really, really simple move. It moves really quick. I'm going slow just so I don't ruin his life. And that's it. This is a really old school move. I'll flash a picture on screen. We see this from the early 1900s in the heyday of catch wrestling. All right, so you guys called bullshit on the Crippler Crossface. This is actually just a legitimate crossface neck crank. And we can set it up for any number of reasons, but we're gonna set it up from kind of a Fujiwara armbar style takedown. So if I come in here, we end up in our 50-50 position or whatever, I can peel him off into a Russian, and as I pull this over, sorry about elbow, I just elbowed him in the face. It's great for pro wrestling, right? And so once I clamp this down, I can literally just hang on to this and sit out and drive him down. It essentially works out like a belly down armbar. But now from this position, I'm just gonna scoop up, tuck this in, pinch it down. I want to cut across this way, right? The problem that you guys had is you guys were just coming in straight. It's not so great. Cutting in across, elbow across, crank. It is a miserable face lock. All right, so the next one you guys called bullshit on was the dragon sleeper. So the dragon sleeper, you guys kind of alluded to it felt uncomfortable, but it wasn't a very good neck crank. Well, the neck crank is only kind of part of it. It's called a sleeper because it is a choke. It's essentially a north-south choke that you're not doing from north-south, right? So again, just for simplicity's sake, if I come in from referee position, we'll go classic, right? I'm gonna cross face across, grab his shoulder, grab his near foot, and I'm gonna just spin him and take his back. Once I'm in this position, I'm gonna maintain on this. I'm just gonna push it aside, and I wanna get deep. Once I'm in here, I'm going super slow on this, right? I'm sneaking all the way under, S-gripping my hands underneath him, constricting, and squeezing. And it's miserable. All right, so you guys called shit on the bullshit on the Anaconda Vise. So this actually can be a legit move, you're just doing it wrong. So what it ends up being is, it ends up being more of like an elbow separator type move. Yeah, it could bother somebody's shoulder, but you can't treat it like you treat top wrist lock or Americana, as you jiu-jitsu queers like to call it. So I want to make sure you're getting kind of the angles right. So if we end up in head and arm, right? So we end up here in head and arm, right? Now if I'm taking good head and arm and I'm really crushing his ribs and all that, when I bring this up, it's okay that I leave this here. Yeah, I'm not going to get the Americana on him. That's fine, right? So when I bring this in, I want to make a fist, Billy Robinson style. When I do this, I have to pull his fist towards his shoulder, and I have to punch my arm through this way to the side. If I don't do that, I can just sit here yanking all day, and it's nothing. It's not going to bother him at all. And on a good day, I mean, I might get a diaphragm choke because I'm heavier than him, but I'm not going to get the shoulder lock. All right, so I had to switch cameras because I ran out of battery and forgot my spare. Fun. So anyway, we're gonna do the Taz mission next. So you guys called absolute bullshit on that, and you're mostly not wrong, but there is a caveat where it can actually work, and it's not the judo thing that you mentioned. So when I go for this, we're going to do the same back take that we did a minute ago, from referee position where I spin around. The cool thing is, when I end up back here, I can often end up back here in this crossface position. I've already got him by the shoulder or whatever. If I start moving this up in here, just start messing with his hand, this is fine, right? And as I'm looking for stuff, I can just start sawing through, right? It's not that hard from the crossface to kind of saw through. Notice how far back I'm getting. I want to get behind his shoulder or even to my shoulder here. Once I'm in here, I should be able to finish this one arm, right? Now, if he's being particularly, bothersome about this, I can start messing with his wrist, and then I can reach back, and that's miserable. I'm literally leveraging his arm to help complete it. His shoulder is going to be what's pushing my arm into his artery over here. But I have to get way deep around. Now, if you have short, stubby arms, this ain't going to work, but it can work. Just start from a crossface, and it's fine. I mean, I know I'm an orangutan, but still. All right, so the next one that you call bullshit on was the last chancery. And I keep saying the next one. I mean, this is dispersed throughout the videos. So, for those of you who aren't Joe and Brad, go watch their videos. They're awesome. I'll put them in the links below. But this one, the last chancery, was in your second or third video. And yeah, generally speaking, like flipping over into a bridge, not so great. There is a picture from one of the old catch wrestling manuals, though, where a guy did a double wrist lock, or you guys call it a Kimura, from a bridge side by side with the guy. Last time I tried it on him, I nearly popped his shoulder out and he wasn't too happy, so I'm not going to do that again. But I'm going to show you guys a really, really direct thing that you can do from that head and arm position. It's called the Schultz front headlock, and you can actually do a choke from there. So if we're tied up here, all right, all I have to do is clear that arm off and snap him down into just a head and arm position, right? This hand's palm up, this hand's down here, I'm burying my hand here, and I'm just going to kind of bunny hop backwards until I get him down on the floor. Once I'm down here, I stay tripoded on top of him. I'm going to pinch my shoulders together, I'm going to walk a couple of paces over, and I'm going to twist. It's a legit choke. We do it, and you get taps. All right, so the next one is the Rings of Saturn. Perry Saturn's Rings of Saturn, not the other one. So this Rings of Saturn is, it's a fairly legit move on its own, but you can actually put in a kind of a spiral armbar, just an underarm, single hand armbar kind of idea in there. It just enhances it a little bit. You don't have to go to the neck crank, although as a catch wrestler, I do love the neck crank. I just want to show you guys this one. All right, so we're going to come in from referee position again. Yes, all of these would be done from takedowns. I'm just being lazy. So, all right, so I can be working in here in my referee position, chopping over, bump him down, right? And it doesn't matter that his arm's caught. I can still work with this, right? Because my arm is underneath him, I can just scoop this out, take head control, slide up. Once I'm up here, I'm pretty happy with this, right? And if I really need a little extra security on it, I'm gonna switch my legs just to make sure, right? Now from here, I'm gonna go just like I'm going for a further Nelson, and I'm gonna bring this around. I do have to be careful of where his elbow's facing, but as I bring this, I have this trapped. I do have the armbar. He's gonna have to verbal tap on this because he's not gonna have an option otherwise, right? And there you go. As long as you tuck it in there, you can keep up there, you can just drive in, and you do have a spiral armbar on top of, on top of that chest stretcher, whatever it is. All right, and that's from video 4. I did want to mention, just while we're down here, that judo move that you guys threw out in video 2 when you were talking about the Steiner recliner. We have that catch wrestling too. We call it a leg Nelson. So you didn't have a name for it. It's a leg Nelson. And for those of you who aren't Brad and Joe, go look at their video, see what I'm talking about. Look up catch and wrestling, leg Nelson. You'll find it. All right, so this one, you guys were talking about the disarm her move, which is actually the way that she does it in the ring is obviously a show move, but it's fundamentally the same as the Dragon Tail armbar. Dragon Tail armbar is a fantastic armbar, and it's one that, yeah, it's a bit of a power move, it's a bit of a show move, but it's really cool. So I can set it up like any normal armbar. We're just gonna come in from mount because it's just easier to deal with, right? So as I'm just dealing with his arm and cross-facing him over, driving in, making sure that everything's nice and tight, right? I'm gonna keep nice control of this, keep this pressed down, keep my knee pinned back here. I just wanna make him as miserable as possible. Now, here's the magic part. I'm gonna step over, baseball bat grip, hold him in and sit on his head. This right here is the magic part of the armbar. Now when I pull, I'm not gonna just pull through my groin. I don't wanna do that. I want to actually pinch my knee in a little bit. And there it is. Yeah, it's essentially the same thing as a belly down armbar, but you get to stay on top, which is way cooler. All right, so just for fun, right? So you guys came out with a video number 5. I haven't gotten to it yet. Well, I mean, I've watched it, but I didn't take notes and find any corrections or anything yet. But I did want to talk about the sharpshooter since you brought it up again. You did it wrong both times. Now, I'm in agreement with you. It's a stupid move, and you're not going to pull it off in a real match. But you did do it wrong. So we're going to go ahead and do it right. Okay? So if I'm in a 50-50, right, we're in here, all I have to do is kind of pull him down, ankle pick him, and I'm in a pretty okay position. Now, from here, we all know what I've got to do, right? So I'm stepping over, bringing him across. Now this part's important. When I bring this one over, and I bring this under, I have to be controlling under his own leg. Now when I step, you got to control the knee, right? So as I'm rolling him over, I need to actually be where his underleg is on my belly. I've got him trapped here. I'm actually cranking between his legs. I've got his knee, and I'm going to sit back. And there's your spine lock. Do it right next time. You get a lot less flack from the WWE community. All right, guys. Ah!